Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're looking at what feels like a full-blown organizational crisis for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
It's more than just a slump. I mean, losing 7 of your last 8 games, that's a code red situation.
For sure. And for you listening, we're going to cut through all the noise and get to the core of it. The structural failures, the management decisions, the whole picture. We've been digging into the game results, the quotes, everything.
Yeah, and the conversation in Toronto has really shifted, you know? It's not just about a bad pass or a missed assignment anymore.
Right. The lens has zoomed way out.
It's now focused squarely on the general manager, Brad Treliving, and the vision he brought in. A vision that's being seriously tested right now.
And Treliving himself kind of handed everyone the headline for this whole mess, didn't he?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're hearing this quote everywhere, and it comes from his media availability at the quarter season mark. He said, "There's too much vanilla with our hockey team right now."
Too much vanilla.
Yeah.
That's a brutal thing for the architect of the team to say about his own creation.
It's an admission of failure, really. And it's a clear message to the locker room that the plan isn't working. So our mission today, looking at reports from places like Sportsnet and what journalists are saying, is to figure out where that plan went so wrong.
Okay, let's unpack this. What was this non-vanilla DNA Treliving was trying to build, and why has it just completely vanished on the ice?
Well, you have to go back to his arrival in May of 2023. This wasn't just a tweak, it was a complete philosophical pivot.
They were tired of the old way.
Exactly. They were done with the speed and skill identity that, kept failing them in the playoffs. It was too soft.
So they were looking for a grittier team, a team built for the postseason.
Precisely. The new focus was all about size, structure, and playoff-style hockey. The idea was to bring in veterans who were tough to play against, guys who could win battles in the corners and protect a lead.
And that's where the offseason moves came from.
Yep. He let some of those longtime skilled depth players go. And in their place, he signed these veterans on short-term deals. The mandate was crystal clear.
Protect leads and handle pressure in the third period.
That was the non-negotiable goal, to fix the fragility that haunted them for years.
Which brings us to the massive, painful irony of this whole situation.
It's almost unbelievable, right?
The team is struggling the most in those exact late-game situations. They were redesigned to dominate. They're blowing leads, they can't score when things get tight, and they look fragile.
It's like you tore down a house because the roof leaked, only to build a new one where the foundation is cracking. Treliving's "too much vanilla" quote is him admitting the new flavor he promised just isn't there.
And what's so fascinating here is that he kind of boxed himself in from the start.
Oh, he absolutely did. By committing to these contracts, the team went into the season right up against the salary cap.
So there's no flexibility.
None. Zero. You can't make a small trade. You can't easily call someone up. So when a slump like this hits, the front office is basically paralyzed. They're stuck with the roster they built.
Which makes staying the course look less like a choice and more like the only option they have.
Right. And when you look at the games themselves, the pattern is it's alarmingly consistent.
Yeah, let's get into that, because it's not just about the final scores, it's how they're losing.
Take the Dallas Stars game, a 5-1 loss. But Dallas scored 4 of those goals in the third period. That isn't just a bad bounce, that's a total structural collapse.
And the offense just dried up completely.
Completely. Toronto's only goal was shorthanded. They got nothing at even strength, nothing on the power play. The system just stalled.
Then you look at the Nashville game.
Another perfect example. They had leads in that game. This is what the new guys were brought in for.
Yeah.
Nashville scores 3 times in the third. The game just slips away. The structure they were supposed to have it wasn't there when they needed it.
And we saw it again against Washington, that 4 shutout.
But first of the year. And they only managed 22 shots on goal. It shows that if the big stars get shut down, there's nothing else there. The depth can't generate anything.
Then the Montreal game, a 5-2 loss, seemed to show all the defensive problems at once.
Yeah, giving up goals from the blue line, losing battles, all the things this bigger, tougher defense was supposed to stop.
Which is where Treliving's own words come back to haunt him.
He diagnosed it perfectly himself, didn't he? He said, "We've given up too much, we're not playing connected." He's basically admitting that the guys he brought in for defense aren't playing defense properly.
So what are the players saying? I saw Austin Matthews call the season a grind, but he made a point of saying, mentally we're fine.
And that's a very telling comment.
How so?
When players say the effort is there and their heads are in the right place, they're subtly shifting the focus,
Of the latter.
Yeah.
To the system, the roster, to management.
Exactly. It becomes an issue of design, not just execution.
Which brings us to the other big hire of the Treliving era, Coach Craig Berube. He was the guy for structure and accountability.
And now he's the one sounding the alarm bells publicly. You can just feel his frustration boiling over.
He started off pretty low-key, right?
Yeah.
After the Washington loss, it was just a short, direct message to the team.
But as the losses piled up, his comments got much, much sharper.
The ones after the Montreal game were just, wow. He called the performance inexcusable.
Inexcusable. And he pointed right at the veteran players, saying, it's a veteran hockey team. He even took the blame himself, but the message was clear.
And he also said, when we get down a couple of goals, we don't play with any urgency. That strikes right at the heart of the team's identity problem.
It does. And in hockey, when a coach hired for discipline starts using words like inexcusable and no urgency in public, that's a signal.
He's sending a message to the GM's office.
He's basically saying, I've done all I can do in the room. I need something to change.
And the big, critical decision Treliving made in response to all of this was to do nothing.
To stay the course. The roster didn't change, the coaches are still there, the plan is the same, despite all the evidence that it's failing.
And this is where his history starts to become a concern for people.
Yeah, you hear a lot of comparisons to his time in Calgary now.
The sources we looked at pointed out that his Flames teams often struggled when their stars were out, just like the Leafs did earlier this season.
And there were other patterns too. Contract talks that dragged on, and critically, roster moves that came way too late, long after a problem was obvious.
So this delay now, it feels familiar to some people.
It feels very familiar. And it's happening during one of the worst stretches of Leafs hockey in recent memory. The team is leaning so hard on its stars, but without a working system around them, they're just getting worn down.
So to sum it all up, the Leafs are stuck in this predictable, repeating pattern of failure. Third period collapses, no scoring depth, defensive breakdowns, and it all seems to trace back to Treliving's grand plan.
Yeah, all the pressure is on him now. His big bet was that this new structure would work. But the results, well, the results are showing the exact opposite. The system designed to make them stronger has actually made them weaker in new and alarming ways.
So this raises a really important question for you to think about. Is Treliving's refusal to change anything a sign of his strong belief in this long-term vision? Or is it a catastrophic failure to react to a crisis that is sinking his team right now?
And that's the line he's walking. Every day that goes by without a move, the tension just builds. And the next decision he makes, or doesn't make, is going to define this season.
So our deep dive really shows this crisis isn't about players not trying, like Matthew suggested. It's about a failure in the design, just like Coach Berube's comments and the game results are screaming at us. It all comes back to Treliving.
And here's the final thought I'll leave you with. This whole team was rebuilt to fix one specific problem, collapsing under pressure in the playoffs. So, now that those same exact issues are defining their regular season, how much longer can the front office argue that this plan is going to work when the games really matter in the spring?
That is the ultimate test, isn't it? What will it take to restore urgency to a team that was built for so much more? Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive. We'll see you next time.